All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division and the 147-pound division, where the face of boxing, at least the face of American boxing, or the biggest money man in American boxing right now, Gervonta Tank Davis, finally speaks out about Terence Crawford calling him out. And the reaction is funny. Also, there was another thing that went on with Terence Crawford related to Jermell Charlo that was very similar to it. Let's talk about those things in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division and the 135-pound division, where there's a whole lot of people, quite honestly, making a big to-do about nothing, taking what people are saying in social media and what they've been told that they've been saying the wrong way, and as a result, running into a little dose of reality. And those people are both Terence Crawford and Jermell Charlo, but specifically Gervonta Davis speaks out about Terence Crawford having called him out. But before I get into the details of that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber, supporter, man, look, thank you to everybody that has been sponsoring these videos, and the super thanks. It is really, really, really helpful to continue to be able to allow me to continue to be able to do these videos and talk this boxing with you, whether you like what I have to say or not. Thank you very much. Shout out in this particular video to my guy Paul Carrick. Thank you so much for your support over the years. Also, Unadulterated Truth, and my guy Stone Alone. Haven't seen you in a minute, but shout out to Stone Alone, man. Definitely know in the live streams that you've been missed over the last couple weeks. So hope you're doing well, and hope these blessings find their way to you. But let's get into this, because, man, I'm telling you, as a YouTube content creator, I run into this stuff all of the time. Like, when I mean all of the time, I run into it every day, where people do not necessarily listen to what you say. They react to what other people say that you said. Again, people in the social media era will not listen to what you have to say, but they will react to what other people have to say about what you said, right? Or listen to what other people say that you said. And that is what Terence Crawford ran into with Gervonta Tank Davis, and Jermell Charlo ran into with the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. So, as you guys know, Gervonta Tank Davis is now out back in the open. It seems as if most of his confinement has come to an end. That was related to an incident that took place a couple years ago. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor, and then for 6 months he had to stay. Either he was in jail or in his house, right? But now he's out and he's doing public speaking, or not public speaking. He's out doing different, actually is. He actually giving interviews to people, sitting down and talking to people for interviews. He also was involved in an event for kids in Baltimore. So he was out during that. So people are getting to stick microphones in his face again and ask him questions. And so in this particular instance, he was asked what he thought about the Terence Crawford calling him out. And that's what Terence Crawford did. Terence Crawford disrespected the man. And I say the word disrespected, that's because, look, man, everything you say about Terence Crawford camp, if it is not applauding him, they take as disrespect. So, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Disrespecting Gervonta Davis by saying he ain't fought any real champions. He's not a real champion at 135. You know, if he wants to come up here, man, I'm not moving down to 135, but he can come up here and jump up here and fight me if he thinks he can knock him out, right? Now, why was he doing all of this, right? Primarily because he picked Errol Spence Jr. to win the fight. And he said that, in an interview on Twitter, when somebody said, hey, I think you're going to knock out Terence Crawford in 5 rounds. Gervonta Davis says, nah, 6, right? And then laughs a little bit and said, nah, man, I'm just messing around. Now he may have said BSing, but now I'm just messing around, right? Says that. Boom. That's enough for somebody to take to Terence Crawford and tell Terence Crawford he said it. So now Terence Crawford is up in arms about him. However, in this interview, Gervonta Davis clarifies it and says, look, man, I was just messing around on Twitter. I'm not serious about that. An amazing thing to me is that boxing fans didn't realize that. Gervonta Davis is, dude, he's a blown up 126 pound fighter. And Terence Crawford began his career at 140 pounds. He went back down to 100 and it was like, matter of fact, his first 19 fights were at 140. After his first 19 fights, then he went down to 135. And within 3 fights of being at 135, he got a championship shot. Okay. So and in fact, there's a chance that he may have more fights outside of lightweight in his career than he has inside of lightweight. I'd have to look because he's had 7. He's had at least 10, 29. So he's had 29 fights. He's had 29 fights outside of welterweight. I mean, outside of 135 pounds, and roughly 29. Yeah, 29 fights outside of it. And I think he had 11 fights at lightweight. So that's way different than a guy that's a 130 pounder and most of his career has been spent at 130, right? Just not the same weight class. But people like to like the names being connected because they're 2 of the bigger names in boxing. But it's just an unrealistic fight to be made. And on top of that, Gervonta Davis knows full well it's an unrealistic fight to make. Terence Crawford knows it's an unrealistic fight to make. But Terence Crawford, going off of what somebody said that Gervonta Davis said, instead of just listening to what he had to say, come on, man. The man was never trying to call you out. He's never trying to move up there and fight you. Right now, to dislike him or have an issue with the fact that he picked Errol Spence Jr. to win the fight, hey man, it is what it is. He may not like the fact that he said you have a glass shield and you have a metal shield, who's going to win, and underestimating the chin of Terence Crawford. But it is what it is, man, at the end of the day. Also, just like I said, there was another instance that happened where Jermell Charlo had assumed that Wallow and Gilly the Kid were talking bad about him on their podcast. And said, hey, look, I'm just walking up on you telling you, hey, man, what's up? Why are you talking bad about me? When they were like, look, we didn't say anything bad about you. Terence Crawford says something bad about you, which is, again, and then Jermell comes and says, oh, well, that's what people told me. Yeah, exactly. You got to go back and listen to it for yourself before you know whether or not this guy actually says something about you or not. And again, that is something that happens on social media all the time. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace. And again, shout out to my guy, Stone Alone. Hope you're doing well. Paul Carrick, Unadulterated Truth. Hope to see you guys again in the comment section soon. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.